How much time are you wasting? Are you being productive at work, or do you have the fear of missing out on something else? I want to bring in our next guest, Rocco Moon. Come on in here, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Plus, I've got to say, does he not have the coolest name of any
the
guest we've ever
coolest
had,
name
ever?
No one will ever compare again.
I can't take accountability for that. It's given to me.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got amazing parents to do that.
Yeah.
Not only are you a musician, and we'll get to your music here in just a second, but you are an expert, and you've been trained with FOMO. Let's talk about that, because I wasn't familiar with that.
Yeah, man. I mean, growing up having a parent that I think achieves their dreams and this like intense level of satisfaction and fulfillment gave me this really intense contrast with seeing not only my own circumstances, just like I felt unfulfilled, unsatisfied, then seeing other people and kind of comparing and measuring myself to all these standards. Professional athletes, professional musicians, actors, famous people. A lot of famous people in culture that's readily accessible on your phone. You see all these people living their lives. You mentioned the highlight reel. Just seeing this highlight reel, and like I went home and I saw someone living their highlight reel, and yet it kind of didn't equate to a real life practical, like how does everybody else do that? And you mentioned earlier, you were talking about living from within versus living from outside, and that was something that I noticed as well, as my dad was just on his mission to fulfill his own dreams and his life purpose and his bliss. He was connected to that happiness kind of serum inside of him. And a lot of other people I was noticing, and it kind of peaked when I had a friend take his own life, and depression and suicide just really confused me. I was like, what is the difference between people who live really fulfilled lives and people who end up committing suicide? And this word, it just appeared on the internet, FOMO, and I'd never seen it before. It was like around 2011, I guess. I just saw the term for the first time, kind of like, he was like, whoa, and you heard it, and it just says a lot, fear of missing out. And it's kind of a deep wormhole as to, the difference between fulfilling our dreams by taking that sole purpose versus comparing.
So your dad is Ted Nugent, your mom is Shemaine, and she's a successful author and fitness expert. How they're on their mission and they've plugged into their passion. How did the rest of us find that? How did you find it? How did you decide what light you were going to follow?
So I noticed that, you know, we only have so much time during the day, and it's like when we start investing our time in things that don't feel good at the end of the day, we'll feel drained, versus all of a sudden you go outside and you play with your kids or you do some activity and you're like, wow, I feel refreshed, I feel revitalized, I feel like this activity is actually giving me more energy versus depleting me. And I started noticing more and more. I thought I was going to be a professional basketball player, and more I kept drilling that into my head. That's what I'm going to do. And all of a sudden I was like on a basketball court and I was like, I don't know if I'm designed for this.
Genetically, I don't know if I'm designed for that.
And so self-awareness started kicking in. I started becoming aware of sadness. Sadness was like a mirror to me, showing me that I wasn't actually synchronized. My mind was wanting something that actually my body wasn't designed for, my soul wasn't designed for. And that sadness kept wanting to go, and express. So I started writing poetry. So long story short, I couldn't help but be who I was. I couldn't help but be the way that I was. I can imagine y'all just found yourselves wanting to talk or wanting to be expressive or wanting to be in this kind of way that led you here to an environment like this. Kind of same thing with me. And anybody who's found that purpose, I've noticed the same thing for them.
Good point. You know, Amanda and I both have kids, and of course social media is a big part of their life. They're all on it. What have you seen? Like, how do you, as a parent, if you're talking to the parents right now, what can they do to kind of pull their kids back a little bit from social media? Because you're right, the younger kids they don't know the balance of, well, that's their life. They think it should be their life.
Right.
Versus we're grown adults. We kind of know how to separate that. What are some of the tips that you can give parents?
Man, I'd say get involved and notice the balance between importing versus exporting narrative. When we're intaking or noticing, you know, scroll other people's stories, other movies, others, you know, our cartoons, whatever. It's literally intaking a story that someone wrote versus, both of you have kids, how old?
11, 14, 9.
19, 15, 14.
Twins and teens.
Got you. But both of you have experienced the floor's lava, we're in an imagination world kind of realm, where basically just you forget reality and you literally immerse yourself in your own narrative. I would say engage in that as much as possible and bridge that into activities that maybe as a child we don't need to think about what we're going to major in, you know, in college when we're 5, but maybe our parents can start to notice like, wow, they keep wanting to build Legos. They keep gearing towards architectural shapes. They really like shapes. This one really likes words. I would say notice that.
Well, hold that thought. When we come back, we've got more with Rocco. Plus, you like tacos?
If they're vegan.
Well, you know what? They've got that on their list. Good answer, by the way. We'll be right back.